Greetings fellow members of the Esoteric Order of Gamers. I thought I'd try something a little bit different today. I was reminded by somebody how much my foam core insert plans are appreciated. And it does take quite a long time to make those plans, and so I tend to put it off and not do them very often. But all the games that I have in my collection do have foam core insert plans. I think it's a fantastic way of organising the components. Sometimes when I get a new game, I don't actually get excited about the game until I build the foam core insert, because it organises everything in the box and I can see where everything is. It's not just a jumble of components anymore, it's a game ready to be played. So I thought, what's a way of showing you how to make these foam core inserts without going to all the trouble of making the plans? Well, I'm going to give this particular method a go now and just show you one of my games and how I've organised it all. And it is Star Wars Imperial Assault. Yes, here it is. Now, I have just about every expansion for Star Wars Imperial Assault. It's a really, really good game. In fact, we're just about to finish off a little mini campaign tonight when my friend Dylan comes over. But I've managed to squeeze it all into this number of boxes. So let me show you how I've done it. I don't have every figure expansion, but I do have all the boxed expansions. So trying to keep this in the minimum number of boxes, I put it all into this number. Let me show you inside them and the foam core inserts I've made. Now, the idea behind this is to give you inspiration for creating your own foam core inserts. And instead of following plans millimetre by millimetre, you use them as the basis of making up your own. So here's the, I have a habit of cutting out these Fantasy Flight cardboard insert things and just making them into single sheets that I put on the top of the box. It's quite a nice way to, keep everything in there. Now, in this one, this is the core set, and this is where I keep all the manuals. So there's a big pile of manuals, there it is there, and it's sitting in the top of this insert arrangement. Let me just get a bit further back so you can see what's going on. Now, I've got three things in here. I'll just bring them out. Actually, one thing about this particular arrangement is it's slightly tricky to get it out of the box, but there we go. There's one piece there, another one there, and then two at the bottom here. Okay, so you can see I've divided the inside of the box up into these spaces. In this one we've got all the small cards. So these are all the different abilities for the different characters, condition cards, things like that, crates, all the little sized cards, and they just go in here. Now, there are no dividers between each row of them, but they stay pretty neatly in there, and I do this so I can fit them all into this one single box. Now remember, these are all the cards from all the expansions as well, so they're all together. Then I've got this tray. This has got all the number counters. I don't tend to use those very often, but wound counters and strain counters. And in here, these are, what are these cards? These are special abilities or something. I forget what these are. These things. And there's two rows of those. So that's all kept in that box. So those two sit on top of each other in the box like so. Then this one has all of the large size cards and they're stored vertically. So we have, these are for the rebels and, not the rebels, these are for the vigilantes and scum and villainy and everything. We've got Empire ones in here, rebel ones there, all the vertical cards. And what I've done is just basically put a loose foam core piece between each of these to keep them divided. So there's just a little piece like that that keeps them divided. So that's all the cards from all the expansions in that one box. Next up, this one, there's I've just got that plonked in the top, the round tracker, and then mainly the large miniatures in here. There's a few loose bits in here because we're playing a campaign at the moment, so I'm keeping them in there. But you can see we've got the original large ATST from the core set, and the doors are thrown in there as well, and of course this thing, forget what it's called. What's it called? I forget what it's called. Rancor? Rancor, I think it's called. There you go, from the expansion. That's sitting in there as well. So a nice big box just to keep those large pieces. So there's nothing tricky about this design. They're just 3 large boxes like this. This one divided into 2. The only tricky thing is that I've just got this corner here, like so. So that's the height of the inside of the box. And I chopped out this piece and then made these ones the height of that piece. And that's so all of these can just sit on top neatly like that. So that's probably the most complicated part of this whole arrangement. That all goes into the core box. So let me show you again. There's the large box. It goes in like so. We've got the middle box, which is all the large cards. That pops in there. And then we've got these 2 boxes, which have all the small cards, 1 and 2. And then on top of that goes all the rule books. Next up, I keep all the miniatures in one box, and that's the Jabba's Realm expansion box. This is very simple indeed. Oh, it's the wrong way up. There you go. This is just one big insert, and it's just divided into 3 compartments. Super easy. So I've got all the characters in there. I've got all the Stormtrooper type figures in there, and the rest of the bad guys in there. Very, very simple. Now you might think, oh, look at all those figures jumbled together. What a mess. Well, it's kind of easy because these figures are just plastic. They're all varnished after they've been painted, so they're not going to be damaged or anything. There's nothing too fragile. So I just throw them all in together like that. Super easy to find them. Next up, all of the terrain pieces or tiles are kept in the part of the Empire box. Now this is a little bit messy because I threw them in here quite quickly after the last time we played, but usually I keep this a little bit neater. But even messily they still fit in. What I have is 2 boxes here. One is quite thin, like so, and the other one is quite a bit thicker. But basically I've just done it so I can keep all the sort of larger tiles in the bottom one, the bottom tray, and the top tray I keep thinner tiles. You know, sometimes I have a system, sometimes I don't, but super easy. I mean, I could throw all these into the box, but it's really nice to have this foam core insert around the outside to keep things divided into 2 that way. And really I could divide this into further compartments, but there are so many of these map tiles that you don't want to divide it up too much because you need all the space you can get to fit them. Finally, the Return to Hoth expansion box, and here I've got the rest of the components for the game. So some of the larger miniatures here. The other ATST is Jabba, the Bantha. I can't believe I know the names of all these things. This snow speeder thing or whatever it is. They all fit in there. And then I've got this nice counter tray. Under there I've got some more tile pieces. So if I take this out, that's a bit by itself. This is a very thin tray like so, and that just has, I think these are mainly from Heart of the Empire, these pieces. Just kept those a little bit separate. And then on top of that, this tray, about this thick. That's where I've got my dice and various components and counters. I've thrown these in. I think I got those from the Sedition Wars terrain set. I'm just using those at the moment. But you can see the rest of the counters just divided up into easy little compartments like so. Very simple to make these foam core inserts like this. They don't take very long at all. And you don't, again, it's pointless for me to give you exact measurements for this kind of thing because they're super easy to make. You don't need to know that this is exactly this width and height. You can make it bigger if you want to. You can rearrange the counters any way you want to. So I'm trying to encourage you to just give it a go because it's quite easy to do and fun. And remember, I've got those 3 videos on showing you how to make foam core inserts. They show you all the basics of how to make them. So that's the box with the rest of the components in it. So as you can see, nothing complicated about the way I've set out the foam core inserts for this set of boxes for Star Wars Imperial Assault. But it just keeps everything organised, and I know things aren't in their original boxes, but if I kept all the original boxes it would take up twice as much shelf space as it does. So this is the way I've decided to do that. I've got plenty of other games with quite complex foam core inserts in them, of course, and I'll be showing you those. If you like this particular format, if you just like this quick insight into some ideas for how to make your own foam core inserts, please let me know if you would like to see more of this kind of thing. in the comments below. I answer every comment that I get just about, so I'm interested in your feedback. If you much prefer the precision that goes into plans, I'll try and do some more of them, though as I said, they're quite time consuming, so I don't get around to doing them as quickly. This way I can really go through a lot of the games in my collection and show you ideas for making your own inserts. And sometimes you might look at them and think, oh, that's a great idea, but if I just tweak that and tweak this, I think I can make it better for my own particular preferences. So as usual, please subscribe if you haven't already, hit all notifications, visit the website for all my summaries, go to Facebook and follow my brand new Facebook page, and of course if you want to support me, go to Patreon. Thanks very much for watching, I'll see you next time. Now tonight I'm going to play Star Wars Imperial Assault.